that I thought was going to be quite simple until you put food in front of me.
Hell, are me surprised.
Did everybody watch the entire show?
That was a mistake. Kind of trying to...
I'm sure you all know, I mean, the first Elf of Color and all these things and the big, we do it for the people, the fans in mind.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for coming.
You know what Amazon Prime's Rings of Power is? Just 5 little words that scream Amazon hates you. See, Rings of Power isn't Tolkien. It's not even bad fan fiction, just a flat out fraud. I mean, season 1 lost 63% of its audience faster than a dog sheds its fur in the summer. Now, Amazon's back, and they got a new plan for season 2, but this time, they're not going to try to fool anyone with any cardboard cutout super fans or critics on the take or trying to bribe their customers with food like they did in Brazil, or then betting it all on showrunners whose Harfoots have about as much in common with Hannibal Lecter as they do with hobbits. So what's Amazon's strategy then? Lie. That's it. Simply lie. So one more time, we got to dig in deeper, stand taller, and sound the horns.
Yes!
What's going on, everybody? Amazon really can't tell the difference between Santa Claus and Sauron. Seriously, the studio is still paying the price for their bad decisions. Prime doesn't seem to care. They're leading the charge for this new Hollywood clown show. Amazon really jumped the shark with season 1. We all saw it. They not only trashed Tolkien's canon, they then branded the professor himself as a bigot before launching into attacks on the fans and branding them as haters. And did Prime learn any lessons from their mistakes? Not a one. Instead, they doubled down and went full woke, and then embraced DEI plus A.
My name is Jerome Core. My pronouns are he, him. I'm the head of U.S. and worldwide DIA content at Amazon MGM Studios, where my team gets a really fun job. We get to ensure that our content is as inclusive as possible and our productions look like the world we live in today. So super exciting.
Amazon actually hired only female directors for season 2. Did they do it because of their skill, their merit, their talent, or they had any special experience with fantasy films behind the camera? Not a bit. Just their gender. And they've been shooting season 2 for 2 years in the UK. And so far, no one in the public has seen a single shot. Not one single teaser or trailer has been released. I think that's because Amazon Prime is afraid. Afraid that once you see it, you're going to realize they transformed Tolkien's mythological masterpiece into a modern-day social justice soapbox.
Can you tell us what it was to play the first dwarf of color in the on-screen Tolkien universe?
This is a moment for history and a moment for so many people that will, I hope, stand the test of time. It was something that was so important to the show, I think, and so important to Tolkien.
What the fuck are you talking about?
But here's the rub. Amazon crept out of the shadows to buy the full rights to the Silmarillion, all so they could continue to demoralize the next generation of malleable minds and turn them into sheep. How are they going to do it? By killing their heroes and their hope. But what really takes the cake is that the production fully embraced all of J.J. Abrams' franchise-destroying strategies. So when the summer season comes up, what we're going to get is another show with bigger action, louder sound, less story, and shallow characters running around in a darker, grittier world.
It's going to be darker and it's going to be edgier and more character driven.
We had no interest in putting our messages into this movie.
We tried to make it more gritty, sort of more, a little bit more dirty, I guess.
We thought that we should honor Tolkien by putting his messages into it.
And we have some very surprising twists and turns in it, I think.
On top of that, all of Rings' baggage that they bring from a couple of years ago, that's not the main problem. The biggest problem they have is the choice they made to change the tone of the series. Director Charlotte Brandstrom confirmed a tonal shift in the Rings of Power Season 2, suggesting the coming episodes will be darker than the first batch. Branston revealed that season 2 will be more gritty and edgier than season 1, and adopting a grittier tone also presents another issue for the Amazon series. It could feel like a totally different franchise, alienating disappointed Lord of the Rings fans even further. Well, personally, I don't think there are any Lord of the Rings fans who actually watched more than the first episode of season 1.
What did you guys think of what we saw today?
Pretty excited. Pretty excited, yeah. I think I've gone from cautiously optimistic to genuinely excited. Yeah, absolutely.
It's made me excited. I mean, it's just, I think I'm more excited than I have been yet.
Excitement to cautiously optimistic.
From cautiously optimistic to...
I'm back to being cautiously optimistic. There's definitely some excitement creeping in there. Definitely gave me excitement.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting. Very exciting. So
you are in good hands. We, as Tolkien fans, are in good hands.
This is really going to be in good hands.
Yeah, totally.
The core of Tolkien's world is about finding hope in the darkness, about battling evil with heart and light, not hate. So I guess Jeff Bezos got what he actually wished for all this time. Another Game of Thrones knockoff, just not well done. And in the process, what happened? He lost the heart of Middle-earth by a mile. So season 2's train has left the station, and it's going to be about as close to Tolkien as a plastic spork is to Excalibur. The Rings of Power is one of the most intricately made shows streaming today. It's also one of Amazon's most successful. Season 1 placed among the top 4 of Nielsen's streaming chart each week, and it ended its 8-episode run as Amazon's most watched original series.
Liar, your pants on fire.
That reporter either drank the company Kool-Aid hook, line, and sinker, or he simply wants access to Amazon's next red carpet premiere. But the reality is that man not only stretched the truth, he didn't only exaggerate it, but he told a bold-faced lie. But here's the kicker. He actually included a link to the truth in his article. Variety reports that The Rings of Power was the #1 most streamed show for the week of its premiere, with 1.3 billion minutes viewed. Now that is the truth. The show was only successful in its debut week, and never again, not its second, fourth, or seventh week, just its first. And after that, it never broke through Nielsen's top 15 charts for its ratings. Ever. Season 1 was a complete failure.
We took a reinvestment in the source material. And well, that means that we went to his writing and allowed that to inspire whole new avenues for the show.
Season 2 of Rings of Power is coming out this summer, and it is already a bona fide bust. That's because there's no audience to come back to watch the series.
Where is everybody?
So if Amazon has a shot to expand its audience base from masochists and Ivy League gender studies majors, then it has to sell the illusion that season 1 was a complete success.
It was a failure.
And after that, manufacture more positive news for the future. The Lord of the Rings of Power showrunners already prepping season 3 storylines. It's amazing how Amazon keeps pretending like they have something to celebrate, but they really don't. The studio has a 5-season contract with the Tolkien estate. That's it. So they're either going to move forward with their shooting schedule or break their contract and cancel the show. Those are the only options. So next time that someone from the press office at Prime tries to put out a release or confirm some facts for a magazine like Variety, they need to check their own facts.
My grandfather is the one who introduced me to Tolkien. I fell in love immediately. I was probably 13 or 14 years old. I fell in love with the adventure, of course, with the detailed universe.
Jeff Bezos didn't memorize all those lines and that fake childhood story that he had to read from his cell phone because it's so authentic about how his granddad introduced him to Tolkien and his love for Middle-earth, all so Jeff can be humiliated on the global stage. But guess what? It's going to happen to him again. Amazon's The Rings of Power now has the rights to all 5 wizards. Say goodbye to more legendary characters that kids can take amazing lessons from, like Saruman, Gandalf, Radagast the Brown, and the 2 blue wizards. See, the studio right now can do whatever they want. They can change the character's history, who they engage with, what age they came from. Hell, they can either gender and race swap them at will. But it gets much worse. Amazon secretly acquired the rights to the Silmarillion for use in the second season. To find out who's responsible, look no further than Simon Tolkien. According to reports, he sold the rights to Amazon Prime. He's also the person that's primarily responsible for this entire mess. And the guy who had a beef with Peter Jackson just because the director was too faithful to Tolkien's legacy.
And my problem with the films was really that I think Jackson was kind of too faithful to the book. He kind of put too much into it.
But we thought that we should honor Tolkien by putting his messages into it.
At the end of the day, Simon is a bitter little man who hated living in the shadow of his grandfather's legacy. He was a failed writer with no accomplishments to his name. Nothing but a wolf in kin's clothing, betraying the den for scraps from strangers. And to top it all off, Prime is up to their old tricks again. How Italy's post-fascists fell in love with J.R.R. Tolkien. In Hollywood, there's almost no one left with the talent to create anymore. No one left to faithfully adapt great works of literature to the big screen. So that's how we end up with studios like Amazon Prime, trying to make Tolkien's source material look radioactive to the public. Also, their trash can look more appealing to everyone. At the same time, they're trying to peddle this holy, righteous scriptures of the woke Tartary.
We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here.
Basically, the bottom line is that you have a company that's acting like a bully with access to billions that's trashing history in order to make themselves feel good. So, when all is said and done, who's really to blame? Is it Jeff Bezos? Is it Simon Tolkien? Well, a fish rots from the head down.
It is everything. It is everything for people of colour. It is everything to progress forward in the film and television industry.
The great news is that Amazon studio head Jennifer Salke has already lost. She just hasn't accepted it like the rest of the Hollywood hive.
There's a long list of voices that need to be represented, and I feel like, we've only touched the beginning tip of the iceberg on those voices.
Now, if you enjoyed that video and found value in it, hit the subscribe button. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below of where you think the Rings of Power Season 2 is going to go. Or what is Hollywood going to do to counter this new revolution of independent artists just as they're losing the culture war? And then share with everyone you know. And to win every battle and stay true to yourself, all you have to remember is we never bow down, we never bend the knee. Always forward.